here is a nice problem is coming from the Baltic Way Mathematical Olympiad, but I didn't realize which year. So anyway, we are going to evaluate sine of 3 degree. Okay, in fact this problem is so exciting to work on, so also is very important. You guys, you can give it a try to this problem pre getting to solution. Go ahead, pause this video when you want to come back to save solution. Now let's go through the solution to see what's given us this one. We know sine of 3 degree equals sine of 18 minus 15. Okay, so I'm going to apply the trigonometry formula on this one. So this one is clearly is giving us sine of 18 is multiplied by cosine 15 plus cosine 18 is multiplied by sine 15 degrees. Okay, so now we need to calculate sine 18 and cosine 15 as well as cosine 18 and sine 15. Okay, we know sine alpha equals square root of 1 minus cosine 2 alpha is divided by number 2. Okay, how we get to this expression? Let's square both sides and go backward to the original one. So I get sine square alpha equals 1 minus cosine 2 alpha over 2. Okay, multiply both sides by number 2. I get here 2 sine square alpha equals minus cosine 2 alpha. Let's work on this one. We know it's very clear here. This cosine 2 alpha is the same as cosine square alpha minus sine square alpha. Okay, if I'm going to distribute this one out, let's bring the sine square alpha to the left hand side. I get here sine square alpha. For this one I get 1 minus cosine square alpha. I get square alpha plus cosine square alpha equals number 1. So this one is coming from this formula. Okay, let's go ahead and use this formula to calculate sine 15 equals square root of 1 minus cosine of 30 degrees all over 2. So I'm going to calculate this one. It's more known here. We have 1 cosine 30 degrees equals minus square root of 3 over 2. So this one is clearly is giving us. Okay, let's work on this one here. If I'm going to transfer this one into quaternary square here, so I get here a square root of 3 minus 1 quaternary square is divided by 8. Okay, let's put this number 4 inside of this one to make it as a whole square for numerator and denominator, and take it out of a square. It's going to give us square root of 3 minus number 1 over 2, because I took number 4 out of square root. Then I left square root of 2 inside of the square root, so which means it's giving us this one. Let's multiply numerator and denominator by square root of 2. So I will have square root of 6 minus square root of 2 here is divided by number 4. Okay, let's save this value of sine 15 and move on to the next step. At this moment it's more easier to calculate cosine 15, so by using the formula that I have, cosine square of 15 equals 1 minus sine square of 15. Now just plug in this one into this one and find cosine 15. 15 equals 1 minus this value quaternary square, which is square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4 quaternary square, without going whole way down with this calculation. So we will have the same job that I have before for this one. So we will be ended with this one. So taking the square root on both sides, I get here cosine of 15 degrees equals square root of 6 plus square root of 2 all over 4, like this. Okay, now let's take this value of cosine 15 over here, then move on to sine 18 and cosine 18. We know cosine of 54 degrees equals cosine of 3 is multiplied by 18. Okay, also we know 54 degrees is the same as 90 degrees minus 36 degrees. 36 degrees is the same as 2 is multiplied by 18. 2 is multiplied by 18. Okay? So we know this formula, cosine of 90 minus this angle is giving us sine of this angle, which is sine of 2 is multiplied by 18, which is 36 degrees. So since we found this nice relationship between this cosine and sine, let's set x equals 18 degrees. So I will have a nice formula here. I get cosine of 3x equals sine of 2x. Okay, let's expand this expression. We know cosine of 3x is the same as cosine of 2x plus x, which equals cosine of 2x is multiplied by cosine x minus sine of 2x is multiplied by sine x. Okay, equals to this one. What is this one equals? Equals 2 times sine x is multiplied by cosine x. Get 2 is multiplied by cosine x is multiplied by sine x. Okay, so also we know sine 2x is the same as 2 times sine x is multiplied by cosine x. So we get here cosine, which is 3x, equals this formula equal cosine x is multiplied by cosine 2x minus this one 2 times sine square x is multiplied by cosine x. So what is the one coming from? Coming from this one. This one is 2 times sine x multiplied by cosine x. Sine x is multiplied by sine x is giving us square here, is multiplied by cosine x, which equals 2 times sine x is multiplied by cosine x. Okay, so we get cosine x everywhere on both sides. We get cosine x here, we get cosine x here, we get cosine x here, which means I'm going to divide both sides of this equation by cosine x. By taking this fact, cosine x is different than 0, because of course we get cosine x, because we are going to replace x with 18 degrees, you will get this one positive. Okay, so I will be ended with this expression, minus 2 sine square x equals 2 times sine x. Okay, we know cosine 2x is the same as 1 minus 2 times sine square x. Okay, so taking this expression and replace it into cosine 2x and take all the terms to the right, I will be ended with this expression, which is I will have 4 times sine square x plus 2 sine x minus number 1 equals 0. Okay, let's take this expression at the top and continue solving this equation using the delta here. So I'm going straight to the solutions. I get sine x, I will have two solutions. Sine x equals square root of 5 minus number 1 over 4, or sine x equals minus square root of 5 minus number 1 over 4. So we are not taking this solution because it's negative. We are going to keep only positive because we already set x equals 18. So which means sine of 18 equals square root of 5 minus number 1 over 4. So it's more simple to calculate cosine 18 degrees by using trigonometry from Darwin. So we get cosine of 18 is the same as 1 minus sine square of 18. Okay, plug in this one into this one, so I will be ended with square root of 10 plus 2 square root of 5 over 4. Okay, now I'm simply going to replace all of this into the formula that I know. So finally we get sine of 3 degrees equals this value, square root of 6 plus square root of 2 all over 4, factor sine 18, which is this one, which is square root of 5 minus number 1 over 4, plus plus cosine 18, which is this one, square root of 10 plus 2 square root of 5 all over number 4, factor sine 15, which is this one, which is square root of 6 minus square root of 2 all over 4. Okay, this is the final value of sine 3. So I have ended this video. By the way, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and support the channel, and thank you for watching. I will see you next video. Bye.